My name is Michelle Kohler, and this is my literacy narrative. I'm going to break it up into chapters which will explain major turning points in my life. Chapter 1 is early literacy, where I am learning letter, phrases, and words through the concept of culture, faith, and family, where I went to a public school named West Elementary on the in Michigan. I was very fortunate to grow up in a middle-class white town with lots of resources of rich literature, where we would go to the library routinely. Chapter 2 is formative literacy. The next part of my life is where I expand my basic word knowledge through faith, culture, and family with the notion of religious practices, where I was put into a private school and had language and content taught to me by the religious order of nuns. The next chapter of my life is when I start deciding what my future directive and goals are as I pursue through high school. And through my faith, culture, and family, I am able to expand my languages of Latin, Italian, and Spanish. And through my rich Roman Catholic Italian family, it just deepens my faith practices and my family. Also, this was a time where I learned to love to explore reading and writing in a creative way in the high school setting. The next chapter of my life is where I start pruning what I've learned in high school as I enter college and university. I didn't know exactly where I was going, so my first inclination was comparative religion, classes at the seminary, and moral theology. And then I had a son who was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. So, through my deep-rooted faith and family, I was able to learn about how to help him in school. My next 2 degrees will be a dental hygienist, where I learned science, human biology, dental work, and then practicing as a hygienist for years and still do, and then on to school again at the University of Michigan to become a teacher, which would eventually turn into my final literacy education to help ESL students in the future on how to be successful students. As an ESL teacher in 7th through 12th grade, I had to learn what my students needed. I had to go back to the basics of what I had learned as a teacher and find out if they needed social, academic, college career readiness, resume writing, how to adjust in a high school, or things of that nature. So I have read quite a bit on different languages, on different ways of helping students, investigating their background, and helping them be successful and how they define it, and not how I define it as a teacher or an educator. Which has led me to my next chapter in advocacy. I am now a EDD student at Indiana University, and I am studying how to critically evaluate literacy and incorporate students' funds of knowledge into the classroom. I want to empower students, knowing my own positionality of a white Euro-American, but through helping them, in which I was able to get a grant where students can use iPads in the classroom for literacy at their own rate. And I wanted to make sure that my next chapter is on helping others be successful.